Hey everybody, this is David Schooley with the Big John MMA Fight Club. I'm getting to do the fun job of talking about fights with Mr. Big John McCarthy. How you doing, Big John?
I'm good, Dave. That's the biggest line of crap.
Oh, come on now. Come on now. You know there's a lot of people that love to be sitting in my seat right now chatting with you about fights. This is fun stuff, man. So, hey, listen. We got some great fights always coming up. All these new cards are awesome. There's so much talent out there right now between UFC and Bellator, and I just want to jump in here and talk about at least the first 3 or 4 fights on the card on UFC Fight Night, Wednesday, November 6th. This is a great fight. This is a fight night for the troops, and you know the first ones on the card are Tim Kennedy and Rafael Sapo. What do you think about this matchup, man?
You know, it's a very good matchup. You know, Rafael Natal comes from, really he's fighting out of Renzo Gracie's in New York. That's where he's doing all of his training and stuff. And he's really shown himself in his last couple of fights he's just one of those tough guys it's hard to get rid of, that keeps on hanging on in the fight and then slowly starts to wear a guy down and beat him down. And he's turned into a very solid fighter. The guy he's going against in Tim Kennedy, I think Tim is one of the best there is at 185. He's tough, mentally tough. He's very physically talented. He's a good wrestler. His ground game is really good. His stand-up is good. He's got good kicks. You know, this is a good fight for both guys because it's really going to, if Rafael can get through Tim Kennedy, he's really elevating himself in this class and showing that he's one of those guys that's in the top 10 at the 185s. If Tim Kennedy puts, Rafael away, he's going to, keep his level there, and he's going to be the guy that's going to get his next shot against one of those top level 185 pounders to hopefully get him a shot at the title against Weidman, or Silva wins, be Silva. But Tim Kennedy he's a killer, man. I'm telling you, he's a guy that, man, I've done a lot of fights with him, and there's things, I'll talk to him afterwards. It's, man, you got to stop doing this. You got to start doing this. And I don't know much, but, there's things that he does because he'll be relaxed and he'll let a guy hit him and he'll kind of flop back into the cage and then come back. And it kind of gives the judges an impression that the punch or the kick was more solid than it really was, based upon not the actual punch or kick, but the action that Tim Kennedy did off of it. Right. And in his last fight against, he fought Roger Gracie, and against Roger, he, his ground game showed because, Roger couldn't, finish him. And Roger finishes everybody when it hits the ground. And everyone thought he was going to finish him. Couldn't finish him, stuck with it, showed his mental toughness, and ended up putting, Roger, in bad situations in that fight. You look at what he's done. He has proved himself to be an incredible fighter, just continually getting better. So both of these guys, this is a big chance for both of them.
So it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder when you say that about Kennedy, because I've seen that in some of Kennedy's fights, and I actually thought that it was maybe part of his strategy, like he wanted his opponent to feel like he had a little bit of an upper hand for a moment, because he always comes right back as though he's not hurt at all, right?
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the fights that Kennedy's had. I've done them where he fought Jacare. He fought Jacare for the Strikeforce title. He fought Luke Rockhold for the Strikeforce title, and he lost both of those, both on 3-2 as far as the round distance in the judge's eyes. And Tim thought he won those, and I had to really, looking at him, I went with exactly what the judges did. I thought overall that, the judges got the fight right, but he's close in them, but he's giving away some things in the fight that, you can tell he's not hurt, but he's kind of playing this thing of, boom, it's bouncing off. Almost trying to play a possum, but it's working against him because he's doing it too much.
Right.
And so, everything in fighting is about using your head and being smart how you're going to do something. He's a guy that, he can beat anyone on any given night, and he has walked through some very good fighters.
Definitely.
So, this is an interesting fight. Mentally, there's no one tougher in the game than Tim Kennedy. Natal is a guy coming in, and Rafael is tough. He's big. He's going to be bigger than Tim is. He's got an incredible ground game. He's super solid down there. I don't know if he really wants to go to the ground with Tim. I don't know if that's going to be in his best interest, because I think it might be almost a stalemate situation. I don't see that Tim's going to do a lot with him on the ground, and I don't see, Rafael doing a lot with Tim on the ground. So it'll be interesting to see where the fight ends up.
Right on, right on. Well, hey, let's talk about the ladies for a minute. We got a great fight coming up with this one. I mean, Liz Carmouche against Alexis Davis, both tremendous athletes. I want to hear your thought about this.
Well, this is a perfect place for Liz Carmouche to get her fight because she's coming in. She's an ex-Marine. She's coming in to do a fight for the troops.
Yep.
That's awesome. Alexis Davis is she is almost the equivalent. I hate to say this because I don't want people to take it in a negative way, but she is the equivalent of some of the guys that are out there that I call zombies. That you can just hit them and they just keep coming after you, and they don't stop. And that's Alexis Davis. She's tough and she's really skilled on the ground. She is tough as nails on the ground. She's got great submission skills. She goes after people in really technically proficient ways. I love watching Alexis Davis fight. So this is going to be an incredible fight. Liz tends to like to stand up and throw big punches. Alexis does too. She'll do that with her. Liz has a good ground game. Alexis has an outstanding ground game. This is a very, very close fight. This is going to be who's going to make the mistake. Yeah. If someone makes a mistake in the fight, the other one obviously can catch them in that and get their win. But these are two great 135-pound females.
Yeah, I agree. Had many conversations recently. I love the fact, and I've brought this up many times, I love the fact that the women are getting a lot more airtime now, and we're getting to see them, on the big stage. We're getting to see them out in that cage in the UFC, and every conversation I've had recently with buddies and so forth, everyone's impressed. They're very impressed at the skill level of these ladies and the toughness. I mean, I think a lot of people just had this crazy thought that women were just going to get in there and scrap and pull hair. That's not the case. These women are tough. They're skilled. They are true athletes. So, and these two are some of the best out there.
You look at some of the top girls out here, people almost have this perception, the girl's going to get hit and she's going to cry.
Right.
She's not going to cry any quicker than the guy is. It hurts.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that, guys aren't thinking about crying either. All the girls that are especially at this level, man, they're good at what they do. And the thing that I will tell you, David, I train a lot of, different people and we go through things. When you get some of these girls like, Liz and Alexis, they listen to what you tell them in training. They don't automatically say, I know how to do something. I know how to do. I've been doing this my whole life. They listen, and then they take what you give them, and they practice it and incorporate it into them. And so technically, they're incredibly proficient because they technically are good because of coaching that has helped these people learn how to fight in the proper way. They don't make a lot of the mistakes that some guys will make because, I know how to do that. Don't worry about it.
I believe you on that. That's awesome. That's good to know about that because I'm continually impressed, and I love the fact that everyone I talk to is as well. We're getting to see some awesome stuff with these ladies. All right, let's move on to a couple more on this card. We got Ronnie Marcus against Yoel Romero. Tell me what you think, man. These are some 185-pounders that are going to bring it in the ring here.
Well, when you're looking at Marcus versus Romero, the thing, Romero is probably he's in the top 1% of athletes that are in MMA today.
Yes.
Romero comes from the Cuban Olympic team. That guy was an unbelievable wrestler. Unbelievable. The things that guy could do, I was always in awe of. And you know what? Ronnie Marcus is a great fighter. He's going to have to overcome the athletic ability of Romero to get himself through this fight. This is one of those guys, you can sit there and say, it's going to be athletically, there's not many people that match up with Romero.
Well, I wouldn't want to be that guy in the ring. I've seen some incredible things with this guy as well. And you know what? The records, it's so funny. When you're looking at stats, you're looking, they're about the same height. They've both got decent records. It tells nothing about athleticism, and that's one of those like X factors, that you've mentioned many times about certain people, and he definitely has it. I love watching this guy wrestle. Love it.
The fight on this card that I'm looking forward to that a lot of people aren't going to think much of. Bobby Green is fighting James Krause.
Yes, let's talk about that. Bobby, we've had Bobby as a guest on this on the show. Really great guy. Want to talk about some work ethic. That guy put some work into his workouts and his routines, and we've seen some awesome skills from him. But I want to hear your thoughts.
Oh, you know what? Bobby Green he's one thing, he's tough. Super athletic also, very fast, but he has turned himself into a technically proficient MMA fighter. That's what I love about Bobby. He's taken all that athletic ability that got him so much success in the beginning of his career, and he's honed it in, and technically he doesn't do things that are wild anymore. He goes about doing things in a smart fashion, and he has, he had a fight against, Jacob Volkman that a lot of people look at. Man, he handled Jacob Volkman. He handed his ass in that fight near the end of it, and he's doing it against a really good guy. And James Krause is a guy that has come out now, and James Krause just had a great fight against Sam Stout, and Sam Stout has been in the UFC forever. I love Sam Stout. He's had wars, wars with Spencer Fisher and other guys, and man, he is just tough. And James Krause handled Sam Stout in the stand-up, man. He, in the end, just kept hitting Sam with the bigger shots, the better shots. This is going to be a great fight between these two guys.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. Actually, I was looking forward to seeing Bobby fight a couple of cards ago, but I guess there was an injury and it got changed. So this is actually a much better matchup. I think that him and Krause are going to be absolutely entertaining. Could very well be fight of the night. Several other great ones on this card. We've got Camozzi against Larkin. I love Larkin. I've watched that guy from the beginning, man. He's a good fighter. I love his style. He kind of looks like you ever watch Will Smith back on his television show? Remember? What's that?
You trying to say that Lorenz looks like the Fresh Prince?
No. Like his brother. I can't remember the name right now. Or no, it was his cousin on the show. What was his name?
I have no idea.
I'll think of it next time. Larkin's probably gonna punch me when he sees me when I say this, but he does. He looks like the guy on the Fresh Prince show. But what's that?
You don't fight like him.
Fight like him, not at all. No. Fight. He's a great fighter. And again, he's going against Chris Camozzi, so that's this is another fight to watch.
Well, the one thing about Larkin is incredibly fast, super hard kicks, fast kicks. He switches feet very well. He sets up his kicks behind his hands at times to hide them. Camozzi's a really solid, tough, technically proficient guy who just goes about doing everything pretty well. He's going to want to take Lorenz off of his feet and put him on his back. That's the way for Chris to win this fight. He does not want to stand up, and let's see who's got the better stand-up in this, because if he does that, he's putting himself at a disadvantage. Get Lorenz off of his feet. Lorenz wants to keep himself on his feet. That's where he's going to be strong in this fight. We'll see which guy can do what they want to do to put the fight into the realm that they're the best at.
I agree. Hey, I have to redeem myself a little bit. Look it up over here. So Larkin, I say this lovingly, you look like Alfonso Romero from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Alfonso, you remember that guy? I'm gonna show you real quick right here, because I'm telling you they could be brothers. If you look right there, that looks like Lorenz.
I just want everyone to know, Lorenz, it's David Schooley. He's one saying it, man. It's not me.
I like I said, I say it lovingly. No, seriously though, I do love his fighting style, and I think it's going to be a great fight. And you know what? There's many more fights on this card. We can't get into all of them, but John, I always enjoy talking about the fights with you. I know everybody out there appreciates your insight. Everyone out there, I want to tell you, lock in your predictions on Big John's MMA Fight Club. Drop a couple comments. Let us know what you think. John, thank you so much, and I will talk to you very soon.
Sounds good, Dave. Take it easy.